When I was about 23 years old, I experienced something so scary and so unsettling that happened on Valentine's Day. Let me just say that if you choose to meet someone online, I highly advise you to be extremely careful. In this story, I wasn't careful enough with online dating. I'll try to explain this story in the best detail as possible, as this happened a while ago. It was the end of the winter of 2013, and I just came home after I had graduated college. I spent 4 years living on campus just to get a bachelor's degree, so I was glad to be home and to be done with school. Even though I was 22 years old when this happened, my parents basically forced me to find a job, or else they would kick me out of the house as I was still living under their roof. I wasn't in the position to be on the streets, so within a week I had started working for a landscaping business. After the first few weeks of working and stuff, I started to feel lonely in my life. I had friends, but they couldn't hang out as they either worked or lived too far away. I needed to find someone that I could be with, like a relationship. I'm a very socially awkward person, and on top of that, I'm also really shy, so going out to talk with girls or to meet new people wasn't my thing unless I really knew them or I was with another person. Eventually, I decided to try online dating for once. I've heard all of these stories about how you could get catfished and how horrible things can happen to you. But of course, I didn't pay any attention to that and started finding a dating website. I eventually ended up finding Match.com, aka the most popular dating site. I signed up, created my profile, attempted to find a girl I was interested in, and all of the other stuff to get my profile set up. For the first few weeks, it was really boring. There was nobody that I seemed interested in, and nobody took the time to message me. Pretty soon, I started to give up and lose hope. Fast forward about a week later, I'm on my laptop watching YouTube videos and whatnot when I saw a message appear from Match.com. I freaked out as soon as I saw it and opened it immediately. I had saw that I matched with a really cute girl. I'm not going to reveal her real name, but let's just call her Amy. Amy was a little younger than me, maybe about a year. Her profile picture showed her driving a car. Her bio had the same interests as I did, gaming, music, and stuff like that. I messaged her with a hey, and she responded almost immediately with, "Hey there, I'm Amy." I introduced myself as well, and we started chatting for about a good hour about our interests. For the next few weeks, after I was done with work, I'd go on my laptop to chat with Amy. Things were looking pretty good, and I thought that I would found someone who I could interact with. One day, Amy invited me to meet up at a park on Thursday, which just so happened to be Valentine's Day. My first instinct was to say yes, but I then stopped myself and thought about it. I started thinking that, what if Amy wasn't real, and that I would be kidnapped or something like that? I decided that I was reading too much into it, and I stupidly accepted her invitation. We made plans to meet up at the park at around 3 p.m., which worked out perfectly as I got out of work at 1, which would leave me enough time to get ready. When Valentine's Day finally came around, I felt so nervous, and throughout work I'd sometimes go off track when I was doing my tasks. However, I went through it, and time flew by quickly, and it was eventually time to leave and go get ready. Do you ever have that feeling when you're about to meet someone you never met before? Yeah, I had that feeling in spades. As soon as I finished getting ready, I got in my car and put the address to the park on my GPS. It was a 20-minute drive away, but I really didn't mind it. The park wasn't 20 minutes away, it was more like 30, so I was annoyed as I didn't want to be late. I pulled in the parking lot and got out of my car and sat down on one of the nearby benches. I then texted Amy asking her if she was here. Normally, whenever I text her, she'd text me right back, but she didn't respond. I texted her again asking where she was, but there was still no response. I was very disappointed and that this was all just a waste of time and gas. I looked at my phone and it was already almost 4. As soon as I was about to go get up, I finally saw a text message from Amy. I felt relieved and happy that she finally replied. She said something along the lines of, "Oh, hey, my phone died, but I'm here." I looked around the parking lot and noticed a suspicious black car parked along the side of the street. I texted her saying, "Oh hey, is that black car yours?" She texted back saying, "Yeah, I see you on the bench. Come over to my car, I want to show you something." Red flags immediately start going up, and I knew that something wasn't right, but like I said before, I thought I was reading too much into it. Therefore, I got up and walked over to the car, very nervous and shaky. The windows were tinted black, so I couldn't see anyone or anything inside. Suddenly, someone in the driver's seat rolled down their window, but it wasn't at all Amy, but rather some guy wearing black. He looked at me for a few seconds and said these exact words, "Get him." Right after he said that, 3 or 4 men got out of the car, chasing after me. I sprinted back to my car as fast as I could, praying to God that it won't trip. I'd like to mention that I took track before, back in high school, so I could outrun these guys, but these guys were fast as hell, and they were about 2 feet away from me. All this time, I was hoping that they wouldn't pull out a gun or them successfully catching me. Eventually, I made it to my car just in time to lock the doors. The men began pounding on my windows, trying to break them, but I thankfully got out of there just in time before they could cause any damage. I drove all the way home, not stopping for anything while my heart was pounding 1,000 times per second. I got home safely, of course, and the first thing I did was delete my profile and my Match.com account. No more online dating for me. I would have just reported Amy to the authorities, but the account was already taken down by then. About 2 days after the incident, I woke up to my phone ringing. It was an unknown number that came from the state of Texas. I answered it annoyed and asked who was it. There was just breathing on the other end. I knew someone was on the other end, so I told them to piss off. After I said that, a very, very low, deep voice came through. They said 4 words that still haunt me till this day. "We will find you." I hung up, breathing heavily, and eventually went back to bed. It's been about 5 years now, and nothing has happened ever since that incident, and I really, really hope it stays that way.